Good morning. Guess what day it is? It's August 20th. Couple of things going on today. It's National Lemonade Day and National Radio Day. So I'm going to tell you some things about radio. Before the 19th century, wireless radio communication was a thing of fantasy. Even after the development of the radio in the late 1800s, it took many years before radios went mainstream and became a household fixture. In 1893, the inventor Nikola Tesla demonstrated a wireless radio in St. Louis, Missouri. But despite that demonstration, it was a Mr. Marconi who is often credited as the father and inventor of the radio. One of the reasons was that he was given the very first wireless telegraphy patent in England in the year 1896. A year later, however, Tesla filed for patents for his radio in the U.S., and they were granted in 1900. On December 12, 1901, Marconi's place in history was forever sealed when he became the first person to transmit signals across the Atlantic Ocean. Prior to the 1920s, the radio was primarily used to contact ships out at sea. Radio communications were typically achieved by the use of Morse code messages. This was of great benefit to the vessels in the water, particularly during emergency situations. With World War I, the importance of radio became apparent and its usefulness increased significantly. In 1920, the Westinghouse Company applied for and received a commercial radio license which allowed for the creation of KDKA. KDKA would then become the first radio station officially licensed by the government. It was Westinghouse which also began advertising the sale of radios to the public. RCA was sanctioned by the government later. Under RCA, certain companies could make receivers, while other companies were appointed to make transmitters. Only one company, AT&T at the time, was able to toll and chain broadcasts. It was AT&T that in 1923 released the first radio advertisement. In Britain, radio broadcasts began in 1922 with the British Broadcasting Company, or BBC, which is still in operation. During World War II, the radio once again fulfilled an important role for both the U.S. and the U.K. With the help of journalists, radio relayed news of the war to the public. One source said that the first radio broadcast featured opera stars, and that was in 1910. And the first radio newscast was August 31st, 1920, and that came out of Detroit. Today, radio has become much more than Tesla or Marconi could have ever imagined. Traditional radios and radio broadcasting have become a thing of the past, but it's been replaced by satellite radio and internet radio stations. Radios are found not only in homes, but of course are standard in cars. So do you listen to the radio? In the car maybe while you're driving to work? You may think radio, especially Christian radio, has lost its appeal in this digital world we live in. But according to Inside Radio's January 2018 format tally, here's how the breakdown is of nationwide radio stations. Country has the largest number of stations, 2,175. News and Talk has 2,027. Religion, Teaching and Variety has 1,948 stations, and Contemporary Christian has 1,191 stations. So if you combine those two, that's 3,139 stations for religious broadcasting. So that means Christian radio stations outnumber the other formats. Are you surprised? I was. I wonder how many people will be in heaven someday because of a radio broadcast. Remember the Great Commission in Matthew 28:19 that says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit." I believe God is pleased when we use all the means at our disposal to worship Him and send forth the gospel message. So today, turn your radio on and enjoy.